Again, we have someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And
so look, I don't know who this lady is, but apparently she's not real smart. I don't care what they say about Tom Homan.
We are 3 weeks away from Inauguration Day, and that means we're 3 weeks away from a brand new Border Czar. His name is Tom Homan. He's promised to do some very simple things: resecure the border and then deport criminals in this country who have no business being here because they were let in under Joe Biden's regime of open borders. Come as you are, no vetting. Oh, I'm sorry, you've got a record of murder and rape and child molestation. That's fine. Why don't you just go to New York? Tom Homan is ready to begin that process. And here he was on Newsmax talking about it and confronting some criticism from, well, some rather uninformed Democrats in the House of Representatives.
Of Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett talking about your capabilities on MSNBC this weekend.
Again, we have someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And, you know, this idea of, oh, you know, you're illegal and then you go out and have a child. It's not quite that simple, especially when you have people that are doing things like seeking asylum and people that are saying, listen, I'm just trying to make sure that I can live a better life. And you have, you know, Trump that goes out there, him and his minions, and they say things like, you know what, we're only going to get rid of the bad ones, right? And so people sit there and they're like, wait a minute, you're going to come to my job where I'm working and I may be paying into taxes or whatever, or my kids are at school. You know, I think that there's going to be a rude awakening really on all sides.
Doesn't know what he's doing. Tom, just to go through some of your background: a Border Patrol agent, an investigator, a special agent, supervisor, special agent, assistant director of investigations. I mean, the list goes on and on. You are so beyond qualified. What's your response to that?
Well, look, I forgot more about this issue than she'll ever know. I mean, for God's sakes, I've been doing it for 34 years. But look, there has been a rude awakening. A rude awakening was in November at the election. There was a rude awakening that American people are sick of an open border. American people are sick of illegal alien crime in this country. I mean, how many young women had to be raped and murdered and burned alive? How many MS-13 and Tren de Guaya had to be in our major cities committing crimes against U.S. citizens? How many angel moms and dads do we have to have in this country that lost their children at the hands of somebody that wasn't supposed to be here, and they bury their children? You want to talk about family separation? And as far as family detention, all of a sudden the discussion goes from family detention to family separation. Family detention is the complete opposite of family separation. So look, I don't know who this lady is, but apparently she's not real smart. But she can say what she wants. Look, I made this clear. I don't care what they say about Tom Homan. Because, you know, I've done this job for a long time. I think the president got a mandate in November. He called me to help me fix the border. And look, under the Trump administration, we have the most secure border in my lifetime. We're going to get that secure border again, because secure border saves lives, and no one can argue that. Under the Biden administration, we got a historic number of aliens have died across this border, nearly 4,000. An historic number of Americans, over 250,000, died from fentanyl comes across that border. Their policies are killing Americans at record numbers. They're killing aliens at record numbers. President Trump is going to secure this border and save lives, just not of Americans, but of aliens too. A secure border saves lives. That's exactly what we're going to do starting day one.
All right, that's Tom Homan this morning on Newsmax, and it's brilliant stuff, as you can well imagine. That Jasmine Crockett, Democrat. I love that these are the people that they're trotting out to speak on behalf of the regime as the opposition. The opposition is Jasmine Crockett. Good. Can't get enough of her. Suggesting that Tom Homan doesn't know what he's doing. As Homan just said, I've forgotten more about border security than Ms. Crockett will ever know. Listen, she has the right to sit on television and pontificate because she won an election to be a member of the House of Representatives. And I guess that's all it takes, frankly. I mean, listen, I have a right to sit here and give my opinion too. We all have a right to our opinions. But let's be clear, based on what Ms. Crockett just said and what she and her party now stand for, with regard to border security and what's going on in this country, she is on the side of the rapists. She is on the side of the murderers. You just heard the stats. Over 4,000 women, children, innocent people have died on the trek across Mexico from Latin America to get to our southern border. It's not an easy trip. And by having that open border, you're enticing more people to come. Wouldn't it be safer and saner for people to claim refugee status and asylum in their own home country, which will be the policy once we reverse what Biden did. But no, Ms. Crockett is in favor of the status quo. She's in favor of what's going on right now, and that means those deaths are on her hands. She also said something there, which I think is fascinating. She said that people are coming here because they just want to have a better life. And I have no doubt that's the case. But you see, that's a bit of a tell. In fact, that would be evidence that I would bring up to the good Congresswoman to prove that their entire position and policy is contrary to law. In fact, they're supporting criminal behavior. Because, hear me now, this is really important, and please fact check this. You do not have the right to enter this country and claim asylum because you want to have a better life. That may be a hard truth for a lot of people, but it is the truth. You see, we have very specific rules with regard to asylum in this country. If you are a political refugee, because if you stay in your own country, you will be killed or jailed or persecuted for political reasons, you can claim refugee status. You can claim asylum. It doesn't mean you're going to get it, but you can claim it, and then you have a hearing. See, this is what our asylum laws were set up for. They were set up for people to be protected from authoritarian persecution in countries that would harm them, mostly for political purposes. So if you're fleeing Cuba or Venezuela, for instance, because the communist regime will persecute you, or for that matter, Vietnam, Cambodia, China, where we have utilized these refugee and asylum laws to help save people from the former Soviet Union. People would flee and come here. And yes, we would have a hearing, and then we would allow them asylum from the political persecution they would suffer if they stayed in their country. All right, you can also flee for religious persecution. This has been used in the past too. If you're living in a country, let's say a radical Islamic Sharia law type country, and you're Jewish or you're Christian, or for that matter, because things are a little dicey over there in some of those Muslim Sharia law countries, if you're not the right kind of Muslim, like the Sunnis and the Shiites, they don't like each other. And if you claim refugee status because of your religious faith, you will come to America, you will have a hearing, and we could give you asylum for that. There's only a couple of handful of legitimate asylum laws that allow you to claim refugee status here in America. One of them is not, you want a better life for yourself. Now, there's a lot of people who want a better life for themselves. And to gain access to the United States of America so they can have better life for themselves, they go through a legal process. It's called applying to be a legal resident and getting a green card and coming here legally. And then eventually, if you want to apply for citizenship, you can do that too, after you've proven yourself able to support yourself and not be a ward of the state, so that American taxpayers aren't funding you and supporting you for coming here, because that's not how it's supposed to work in this country. You want a better life for yourself. You want to work hard and make money and build a future for your family. Great. There's a legal way to do that. We encourage you to do it. In fact, coming here illegally and falsely, illegally claiming asylum and refugee status because you want a better life for yourself is not the way to do it. And the good Congresswoman from Texas just admitted that that's what's happening. You see, right now, all of those hearings that we're supposed to be having for people who claimed asylum, well, they're clogged up. We don't have enough judges. We don't have enough hearing rooms. We don't have enough courtrooms. They've been backlogged upwards to 6-7 years because everyone's been flooding across the border claiming asylum status. And under the Biden administration, they were saying, okay, come on in here. You'll see at your hearing in about 7 or 8 years. In the meantime, fend for yourself. And of course, while they're here fending for themselves, they end up working illegally and committing crimes, continuing to commit crimes because they're not supposed to be working here if they're here illegally. That's what's been fostered. And that's what Ms. Crockett just admitted to by saying that all these people coming here and claiming asylum and refugee status are here because they want a better life for themselves. Stop. Just stop. Think about it for a second. If the United States of America opened up its borders and allowed in anybody, and literally anybody from around the world, into this country because they want a better life for themselves, well, that's about 95% of the world's population. Sometimes I think that's exactly what Democrats want. Well, it ain't happening. And Tom Homan is right. The laws are there for a reason. And what we've seen right now is lawlessness. And as you can see from the Congresswoman from Texas, that lawlessness is celebrated and endorsed, but she admitted to it. And that's the key. Anytime you see somebody, whether it's on television or on your Facebook page or on YouTube, and they're saying, hey, why are you guys so anti-immigrant? These people just want to come here and get a job and have a better life. Say, great, there's a legal way to do that. But by coming here and claiming asylum, they're not only breaking the law and entering our country illegally, but they're also lying about their refugee status, which is breaking further laws. And then while they're waiting for their hearing, they're working and they're not supposed to be. So that's breaking further laws. And if they've obtained fake social security numbers or fake IDs so they could get that job, well, they've just broken more laws like identity theft or falsification of government documents, and on and on and on. And if they want a better life for themselves, God bless them, why don't you do it without breaking our laws? That's all we ask. What's wrong with that? 3 weeks away, 21 days, Homan's in his Border Czar, and on the first day, everything changes. Finally, everything changes. Just hold tight and get ready for it. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, that's being discussed right now. Tax cuts, hopefully we can keep them. Regulation changes. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever, because all those news stories I just told you about, it's affecting your savings, it's affecting your investments and your retirement, and gold is a great way to diversify. Birch Gold, the only gold company I endorse, they're releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. And it is got a forward by Donald Trump Jr. You can get a free copy just because you know me, along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold. All you got to do is text my name, Larry, Larry, to 989898. The facts are the national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. Gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold, still the company I recommend to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k to a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, not one penny out of your pocket. So just text Larry, Larry, to 989898. Get your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, just good information. Once again, that's my name, Larry, to 989898. Get your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era from my friends at Birch Gold.